The next person in this Vivas should come in, pick a question, read and answer it. Come in, please.
Guess who is back? Student 101. Explain fetal circulation. Okay, we are circulating again. Now let me start by saying this. When a woman is pregnant, there is a new special organ that is formed, and this organ is called the placenta. Very important. The placenta is attached to the uterus of the mother. Now, I want you to understand that there is a connection between the fetus and the mother. What connection is there? Listen to me. So, first of all, there is a connection between the fetus and this new organ called the placenta. What connects the fetus to the placenta? It is what we call the umbilical cord. So the umbilical cord connects the fetus to the placenta, and the placenta connects the whole fetus to the mother. So there is fetus, umbilical cord, placenta, then placenta attached to the uterus of the mother. This placenta is very important because it plays important roles such as gaseous exchange, removing of waste products from the body, meaning it performs the functions of the lungs, it also performs the functions of the liver. You understand? So now, listen to this. I want you to understand me. In fetal circulation, there are 3 shunts that you should understand, which causes a bypass. So what is different between fetal circulation and postnatal circulation is that in fetal circulation, blood does not necessarily need to go to the lungs. Blood does not necessarily need to go to the liver. Why? Because in the fetus, the lungs are not fully functional and the liver is not fully functional. So now, how does this happen? This happens by using of what we call 3 shunts. These 3 shunts causes blood to bypass the lungs and the liver. So this is what happens. Listen to me, examiners, and listen very, very carefully. I hope I am putting you in your place, because here there is no intimidation of each and everyone. We all have data. Now listen to me. When deoxygenated blood is coming from the fetus, this deoxygenated blood comes to the placenta through the umbilical cord, but specifically through which veins is the blood coming? The blood comes from the fetus, deoxygenated blood from the fetus to the placenta through 2 small umbilical arteries. These umbilical arteries are found in the umbilical cord. That connection which I said is between the placenta and the fetus. So deoxygenated blood coming from the fetus through the umbilical arteries will go to the placenta. As this blood reaches the placenta will take out carbon dioxide and waste products. Then the placenta will push in oxygen, and it will also pump in nutrients that the fetus needs. Can we start now from here? Now, at this point, we are going to say the blood has been oxygenated, but I need to mention that the blood of the fetus does not mix with the blood of the mother here. There is just exchange of gases and, of course, nutrients. So at this point, the blood becomes oxygenated. So this blood now will move from the placenta. It will enter into a vein called the umbilical vein. So now at this point, I've mentioned that in the umbilical cord there is 1 big vein and 2 arteries. 2 arteries bringing deoxygenated blood to the placenta, and 1 big vein carrying oxygenated blood from the placenta taking to the fetus. But this is how the blood moves. So from the placenta through the umbilical vein, this blood goes to the liver. But when this blood reaches the liver, I want you to understand me very carefully, because this is important. I hope you are following. When this blood reaches the liver, this blood, just a little blood will enter into the cells of the liver. I want you to understand me. Only a little blood will enter into the cells of the liver, or I would say sinuses of the liver, other languages say. You understand? But a lot of blood will not actually go into the tissues of the liver. A lot of blood will bypass the liver without going into the tissues of the liver. Straight, that blood will go into the inferior vena cava. Now, the bypassing of blood from the liver into the inferior vena cava is through what we call a shunt. There is a special passage that causes the blood to bypass the liver into the inferior vena cava. This is what we call ductus venosus. This is the first shunt. Now it is called the ductus venosus. What does the ductus venosus do? It allows a lot of blood to bypass the liver so that the blood does not go into the tissues of the liver. It goes into the inferior vena cava. Only little amount of blood goes into the tissues of the liver so that the tissues of the liver can be oxygenated. I hope you are getting me. So when blood enters the inferior vena cava, this blood of course will mix with other blood that is coming from other parts of the body of the fetus, and it will start going up. From the inferior vena cava, blood now will enter into the right atrium. Now, when we reach the right atrium, it is important to understand here that under normal circumstances, blood should move from the right atrium into the right ventricle. But here, in a fetus, in the heart of the fetus, there is a special opening between the right atrium and the left atrium. So, between the right atrium and the left atrium, there is a connection which you don't find after the baby is born. So now when blood reaches the right atrium, a lot of blood will move direct from the right atrium into the left atrium through that opening, and this is the second shunt. It causes blood to move direct into the left atrium. This opening is what we call the foramen ovale. That is the second shunt. So when this blood gets into the left atrium, that blood will get into the left ventricle, then into the ascending aorta, then it will go into the arc of the aorta. Other blood will go to, where it should go to the brain, and of course to the arms, so that these parts can be supplied with oxygenated blood, and of course other blood comes down like that. But we pause it there. Let's get back into the right atrium. Now you need to understand that when the blood is going directly from the right atrium to the left atrium, some blood remains there in the right atrium, and some of the blood is coming from the brain and the upper arms through the superior vena cava. So this blood coming from the superior vena cava will enter into the right atrium and mix with this blood that remains. So this blood from up there and that which remained will now go into the right ventricle. So some blood will go into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, this blood will go into the pulmonary artery. Now you need to understand that from the pulmonary artery, the blood has to go to the lungs. But in a fetus, it is special because the lungs are not fully functional. So there is no need for a lot of blood to go to the lungs. So as the blood is moving through the pulmonary artery, there is a connection between the pulmonary artery and the aorta. And this connection is the third shunt. This connection is what we call ductus arteriosus. So the ductus arteriosus now will allow blood to move straight from the pulmonary artery into the aorta. Instead of it going to the lungs, much of the blood will move from the pulmonary artery into the aorta. So only little amount of blood is going to move from the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Now, why is this little blood going to the lungs? Very simple. It is going to the lungs because the cells of the lungs need to be supplied with oxygen and nutrients. So after the lungs have benefited oxygen and nutrients, that blood should come back through the pulmonary veins, get into the left atrium, from the left atrium into the left ventricle, from the left ventricle up into the ascending aorta, from the ascending aorta aorta, arc of the aorta, and you find that this blood now, it has become deoxygenated, so coming down into the descending aorta. As this blood comes into the descending aorta, you need to understand that in the fetus, this descending aorta will later divide into the left and right iliac arteries. So now this is what you need to understand. From these iliac arteries, that is where those two vessels that I mentioned, the umbilical arteries, will start from. So from these two iliac arteries, you have the left umbilical artery and the right umbilical artery starting from there, and when they go up, they go into the umbilical cord. From the umbilical cord, these umbilical arteries are carrying deoxygenated blood to the placenta, and the placenta is going to take out carbon dioxide and other waste products, put oxygen and nutrients, then this blood will be taken into the umbilical vein, and you see that we have started the cycle again. I hope you have taken it very clearly. So my dear examiners, that is fetal circulation. Thank you so much, and I hope I have not disappointed as student 101. nga fira fina ba kuchingola balanda fwanta kwebulukuku wanu Margaret.